Now, while I'm still here with you guys, I'd just like to briefly talk about the remaining Looney Tunes movies from the last decade and today. Just briefly, Rabbit's Run was a 2010's Looney Tunes movie. I believe it was the only one in the 2010's, and I didn't see it. I liked the cover, kind of. The cover of that movie looks like a classic 90s Looney Tunes cover, so the cover's kind of fun. I saw bits and pieces of it, and I thought it was alright. You know, it was basically like the movie version of the Looney Tunes show, and it's kind of better than the Looney Tunes show, and I was glad it was the last version of the Looney Tunes that way, because I wasn't a fan of the Looney Tunes show. You know, the Looney Tunes show, I won't go rambling on forever about it, because that's not what this video is about, but the Looney Tunes show was okay. I don't think it's a terrible show, but I wasn't a fan of it, and I think it was a mistake that they kept going on and on with it. I mean, it had things in it that were enjoyable, but yeah, there is one great moment in Rabbit's Run I did see. It was when Lola was really upset, and Bugs showed up out of nowhere, and he started saying to her, he's just like, "What's up, Doc?" The way he said "What's up, Doc" to her in that scene by the water, that was so touching. We never heard Bugs say "What's up, Doc" that way before. It's like a different way we heard him say that phrase in that moment. Like, Bugs has always said "What's up, Doc," like as him joking around, or he's about to like give someone the business, you know, or there's always something really silly going on. But here his girlfriend is all upset, and she's like maybe about to cry, Lola. She's like all emotional. And Bugs, being a good boyfriend, he's just like, "What's up, Doc?" And he's like all calm and sweet, and it's like, that was really cool. That was a really awesome moment in Rabbit's Run. That's like a different interpretation of that quote, for Bugs Bunny at least. But yeah, I saw a little bit of it, and it's alright. Not very good. It's okay, I guess. And then in the 2020s, so far, it's a young decade right now, as of this recording. We've had Space Jam 2, A New Legacy. I love that movie. I'm going to do a whole review on it eventually. I do disagree with people about it. I don't think it's a piece of shit. And also, there's a new upcoming Tweety Bird movie coming out called King Tweety, something like that. And I saw the trailer, and I really hate the animation. I like the plot. The plot is kind of fun. And this is actually Tweety Bird's second movie now. So, from Tweety's High Flying Adventure, now it's Tweety's second movie, which is pretty cool. But it's ruined by the presentation, in my opinion. It's ruined by the animation. I heard a lot of people in the comments section for that video with the trailer saying, "Don't judge the movie yet, you didn't see it yet." I agree with that. All these commenters talking about how bad the animation is. We're not saying that the movie is bad already. We're saying that it looks bad. Remember, pay attention to people's language. Or like, don't judge the movie. They're not. When people say looks bad, looks this, looks that. Looks means we think it looks bad. We're not saying it is bad. So all the people that say that don't need to be saying that. If the comment didn't, if someone's like, "Oh, it's just definitely bad," then say that. But no one does that. Usually most people say looks. So stop with the stupid comments. So I got a chance to actually see King Tweety, and I thought it was pretty good. I was surprised, because I thought the animation in the trailer looked really bad, and I thought it was just going to be a bust. But it was actually a pretty good movie. The humor that you typically see from the Looney Tunes is in this movie. There are parts where it's a little bit cringy, but it's still humorous, and I find Granny, Sylvester, and Tweety, they all act the same. And the animation, I mean, I kind of like the backgrounds, but I'm just not a fan of the way they look in particular, especially Sylvester. But Granny looks fine, and Tweety looks okay, actually. Sometimes in this film, the characters make exaggerated face expressions, which kind of reminds me of like some cringy memes you would see on the internet that some like really young person would find hysterical, and then if you're older, then you're like, oh, jeez, you're like grown at it. But it was only used sparingly, and it was only used like a tiny bit, so it really wasn't that bad. I actually like the plot of the film. It's been done before 1,000 times, but who cares? It's kind of cool that Tweety has another film, because this film is kind of like it's Tweety's second movie after Tweety's High-Flying Adventure from the 2000s. I think last year or something, the 80th anniversary of Tweety Bird happened, so I think they were making this film close to that anniversary to like honor Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird is a very popular Looney Tunes character. In fact, I'd argue he's one of the most popular Looney Tunes characters across the board. So it does kind of make sense that Tweety would have another film. Granny is just as awesome in this film as she ever was. She's a badass riding her motorcycle. She helps save the day. She's funny. I can't say anything weird about Granny in this movie.
This, folks, is a Warner Brothers television production.
Now, my favorite part of the movie is actually the villain. I thought he was entertaining. I thought he was interesting. I like that he became like super huge and powerful at the end of the film. It really like harkened back to those old Disney/Warner Brothers animated movies where the villain turns like all big at the end and they're all powerful. Kind of like the end of The Little Mermaid where Ursula's like giant and stuff. It was real cool, and they had to figure out a way to defeat him. It had some cool dramatic stuff at the end there. One pretty interesting thing about this film to hardcore Looney Tunes fans is that Aooga returns. Oh my god, I can't believe it. We haven't seen Aooga since Tweety's High-Flying Adventure. Much like how in Space Jam, by the end of the original Space Jam, you assumed the Nerdlucks were going to be part of the Looney Tunes family and they were going to appear in other things after Space Jam, and that literally never happened. Well, the same thing happened with Aooga. Everyone who liked Tweety's High-Flying Adventure assumed, oh, look, it's another Tweety Bird character, and we're going to see Aooga and other things, right? Nope. Same thing. But now Aooga's back. And I really liked her in the original Tweety's High-Flying Adventure. But the only thing negative I would have to say about the film is that I really despised Aooga's voice in this film. Maybe not her voice, but I just thought her character made all these like jokes that were supposed to be funny, and I just hated every joke that she made. I did not like her in this film. I really just I hated her, kind of. I just thought she was obnoxious, and she didn't act anything at all like her original character. Not even slightly. Another thing that really bothered me a lot, because I felt like it was a huge missed opportunity, is how come Tweety Bird doesn't remember her at all? It's like everything that happened in Tweety's High-Flying Adventure didn't even happen at all. It's like Tweety and Aooga were introduced to each other in this film. That's fucking pig shit. Or bird shit. They had a whole adventure together. It would have been an awesome like tie-in connection to that first movie, and Tweety remembering her would have made this film feel like a sequel to Tweety's High-Flying Adventure, and it would have had an awesome connection with the past. But instead, they just ruined Aooga. I mean, everything. Just no. Fuck! Damn you, Warner Brothers. Fuck. Overall, though, I would say I'd give the film a pass. I think it's a decent film. Surprisingly, because I really thought it was going to be a pile of bird shit, but it wasn't. It's still pretty early in this decade that we're in right now. I will list 4 Looney Tunes films that are supposed to be happening, if they do actually happen. There's supposed to be this Looney Tunes movie that's supposed to appear on HBO Max where Porky and Daffy fight like aliens, but there's all these rumors that it might be canceled or whatever. I hope it happens. Then there's supposed to be this other Looney Tunes Bugs Bunny movie, something to do with a symphony or something, and it was, I forget what happens in it, but who knows if that's going to happen. And I also heard that there's supposed to be a Wile E. versus Acme movie where Wile E. Coyote sues the Acme Corporation in court because of all the horrible inventions Acme has created over the decades of him trying to kill the Roadrunner and them being a failure as a company, and that would be amazing. And it'd be cool if it's live action too, but I mean, who knows? That'll probably happen, but we'll see, right? Then the other last fourth film that may happen, maybe, is the idea of a Space Jam 3 starring The Rock. Now, this could be an entire video on its own of my views on a Space Jam 3, so I'll try to keep it brief. I think it's a pretty cool idea, because the idea is that the Looney Tunes make The Rock realize, or Dwayne Johnson realize, that he should return back to wrestling, kind of like the original plot of the first Space Jam, where the Looney Tunes make Michael Jordan realize that he should return to basketball instead of playing baseball. So The Rock should not be acting in movies, he should be going back to wrestling. And the Looney Tunes are pretty much, they could be the wrestlers, and they could wrestle and have different costumes, and the Looney Tunes already fight each other all the time. So it's absolutely perfect for them to be fighting each other in the ring and have teams and everything. It'd be amazing. And maybe the Monstars could be in it, or like they could steal the talent, the wrestling talent from from wrestlers, and they can become the new Monstars of wrestling. You can call it like Space Slam or something. I think it'd be interesting to change it up instead of basketball for a third round, because after the Space Jam 2, what they did with basketball, I don't know how you can get any more loonier than that, because the way they played basketball in Space Jam 2 was so creative and so wacky and different. I don't see how you can possibly do that again without being a little boring. The second film showed that, and the first, quite frankly, showed that the Space Jam movies are supposed to be really out there and really creative. So, in each time they happen, it's not supposed to be exactly the same. So, I think the idea of a Space Jam 3 would be awesome. It'd be amazing to have a trilogy. One last thing I want to say about Space Jam 3 is that if they do it, I really think they should do it within 5 or 6 years from now. Because if they wait 10 years or longer, Dwayne Johnson is going to get pretty old, and it's going to seem absurd for him to return to wrestling at such an old age in the film. Right now is kind of the perfect time to make this kind of film, just in my opinion. I mean, hey, why not? People hated Space Jam 2 because LeBron was in it, but people love The Rock, so I mean, not everyone likes The Rock, but he's a hell of a lot more popular than LeBron James is. I mean, we all know that. And it's not basketball this time, so maybe that idea for a Space Jam movie would be more successful than Space Jam 2. So, thank you all so much for watching. All you guys who've watched all of my reviews of every single Looney Tunes movie ever made so far. I've had a lot of fun making these videos. It's been a real nostalgia trip. It's been a tiny bit emotional. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of memories with most of these films. I hope the Looney Tunes live on forever. Let them stay movie stars forever. The Looney Tunes are in an excellent spot right now. Even though a lot of people despise Space Jam 2, there's still people that love it, and it's still, the Looney Tunes are in the spotlight as of this recording, so I just want to thank you all so much for watching all these videos. I've had a lot of fun making them. I was going to say it's too bad there's not more Looney Tunes movies to review, but holy fucking shit, there's been a million Looney Tunes movies, so I can't say that. But eventually, this year maybe, I'm going to be coming out with more reviews of the other Looney Tunes cartoon that came after the Golden Age. Like stuff from just these other Looney Tunes cartoons. Like, I'm going to talk about them. And other DVD releases of the Looney Tunes cartoon shows. So, it's not over yet, folks. But thanks for watching. And, as always, that's all, folks.
Can I go home now?